comments as we move through the content today. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to Nicole to do our welcome. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Just going to go over the agenda for today. Welcome. I hope you guys enjoy the presentation today. So first off, of course, we're going over our Job Club overview. Second, we're going to share some success stories with you. We have our main speaker sharing active job leads, planning partner updates, and then we're going to discuss what we're going to talk about next time on Job Club. We have our or when the agenda will come out for or the schedule, I should say, for the spring. So yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit also. So yeah, stick around. So Job Club is currently hosted in Zoom webinar. In Zoom webinar, participants in the webinar can hear and see presenters. Attendees are not active on the mics or cameras. If you choose to participate in the chat box, your name will be public to the group. So we just want to let you know that. It's kind of fun. We can see it here, but we just want to let you guys know that. All righty. So welcome to all those who are viewing on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. Looks like the pandemic here has helped us to kind of expand. So thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for engaging today with the Job Club community. And oh man, so sorry. We will share, like I said, job leads, newsletters, things like that, if you will register. And then there's a link here at the bottom. I hope you guys can see it at www.ukalumni.net/job club. So thank you once again. All right. Okay, employers and recruiters are always welcome at Job Club. Employer guests may have speaking privileges to share a 1-minute spotlight to share active job leads, I should say, with the group later in the program. So as mentioned in the agenda. So keep that in mind. We definitely want to hear about those. That's why we're here. So thank you for that. All righty here. And then of course we have our Job Club facilitators. And here on our team, we have Diane Doggett, our County Extension Agent and Family Consumer Sciences Office, Carolyn Francis, Director of Alumni Career Services at UK Alumni, Amanda Shackney, who you've heard from first, Associate Director of Alumni Services at UK Alumni Association. And then myself, Nicole Waite, I'm an employment specialist here at the University of Kentucky, STEPS Department in Human Resources. So yeah, we don't want to fail to mention or shout out Ellie Goodman at UK Alumni Association, Hannah Sims, UK Alumni Association, and Suzanne Smith of Fayette County Extension Center. So thank you, office, I should say. So thank you to all those who helped in the background. All righty, our mission is to provide a positive environment for job seekers to network and to learn best practices for the job search. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, and you can find the schedule of the topics at www.ukalumni.net/job club, as mentioned in a previous slide, I think about Facebook Live. So the current schedule is tentative as we are adapting to the need of our audience and shifting to Zoom webinar format due to COVID once again. So we're all not strangers to that at this point. So we definitely wanted to share that with you guys. And all righty. Please note before I leave you guys, some people in the webinar are conducting a confidential job search. So we definitely want to note that. So let's please be respectful of privacy for the job search of others. And check out job search related articles included in our Job Club reminder emails. And please keep the engagement in the chat box positive as always, and have you guys already, well, as you, I should say, have already started. So we love the introductions. Really kind of gets us all worked up and hype and just ready to receive the message for today. So yeah, I'm gonna learn some good stuff. So please stick around to the end, and welcome again. I'm so glad to be able to talk to you guys. And once again, as Amanda said, this is the last one of the year. So I hope you enjoy it. All righty, I'll talk to you later.
We want to welcome our first timers today. You will receive a follow-up survey to give us some feedback that will help us with our future programming. So thank you for submitting feedback. Next. Also, please note in our follow-up materials that you'll receive later today, you'll receive leads for jobs that we've received. Also, here is a link to a wonderful job club welcome packet with fabulous resources. And we really encourage you to join our LinkedIn Central Kentucky Job Club sharing community group. This group is open, and please join because we get job leads between job club meetings that are sometimes very timely and have a short turnaround. So we'll post those in that group, and you could learn about something there that happens and needs a quick turnaround. Next. Now we'd like to share some success stories. I love this part of Job Club. Please, every one of you all, when you land your next position, let us know. We want to share in your success. We love hearing Job Club success stories. I have an excellent one that came in overnight. While I'm reading that, I'd like for people to share in the chat box some good things that have happened since last Job Club. I know some of you on this call have had interviews, so please share with us good news. It could be you've updated your resume, perhaps you've reached out for a networking informational interview or a virtual Zoom coffee chat. Let us know what's good that's happened in the chat box while I share this exciting success story that came in from Renee Gallagher. Renee has a new position. She's the engagement manager with Growth Zone AMS. And this is what she shared. She says that always remember to reach out to the people you know. Always be kind because you never know where your next job may come from. She found her new job because of the relationship she built through the years working with her company's software provider. She says, I was on the phone a lot with their help desk and customer service through the years and never dreamed I would be working for them. But now she is working for the software provider that she was a user of for many years. She's able to work remotely, plus she was able to remain with her previous employer on a part-time basis and combine the two since they're both remote positions. She says, even when you're in stressful work-related conversations with vendors or suppliers, just remember that these people are people that will be in your network and could potentially be a future coworker. She said this was a very unexpected surprise and she really loves working with it, even though that is not something she envisioned herself doing. She enjoys working with the software and helping other customers. She says what really turned the corner for her, she had been job searching, sending out resumes for a year. What really turned the corner when she finally started to get some traction is when she started tailoring her resume using relevant keywords. That's something we talk about a lot, the importance of using keywords. She said she studied LinkedIn job descriptions, as well as job descriptions for specific jobs, and used that information to make her resume more tailored. And she feels like that's where she got some traction and her job search picked up. She says, don't confuse the silence with lack of your worth if it's taking a while to hear back from employers. She says, sometimes we just have to be more persistent and follow through and never give up. Really excited about our speaker today. Amanda, why don't you share some of the chat success stories that have come in?
Sure, happy to. Looks like Rebecca has a video interview this afternoon, and Heather has an interview on Thursday. I was just going to put in the chat, there's some interview resources in that first timer packet that might be helpful for you all. I'll put the link back in the chat.
Awesome. Good luck to everyone. And again, remember to let us know when you land your next position, and good luck. Let us know how those interviews are going. We love hearing from you all. Next. Super excited to introduce our guest speaker today, backed by popular demand and Bassoni. Anne spoke a couple of years ago when we were holding live job club sessions at the extension office, and we all fell in love with Anne and were so inspired by what she shared with us. Anne is a graduate of Center College and the University of Kentucky College of Social Work. She's been a practicing social worker since 1994. She's been working with children, families, and adults in a variety of settings. UK was fortunate enough to have Anne join our team, and she started the Work+Life Connections program at UK in 2009, where she provides free therapy, short-term therapy for UK employees and their sponsored dependents. And you are a very respected person on our campus, very loved, and thank you so much for being with us with Job Club today. We so appreciate you.
I'm really glad to be here. I appreciate being asked. And, I have been pretty fortunate in my career to have been employed consistently, except for one period when I was out of work for about 7 or 8 months. And it was a difficult time in my life, but I'm going to talk to you all about trying to thrive while searching for a job. And I think even in the most, uh, you know, non-pandemic of times, finding a job can be stressful. I think COVID has added probably another layer for you all who are searching for a job. But we're going to talk a little bit about now. Amanda, do you? Okay, there we go. So what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was what to look for in case you are feeling some of the depression or stress or anxiety that goes with looking for a job. And why is that so stressful when we're looking for a job? What are some of the causes of job search depression? How to manage the negative emotions related to that depression or anxiety and staying motivated. um, so one of the reasons our jobs, losing a job is stressful because for many of us, especially in the United States, our jobs are more than just the way we make a living. I think if any of you, when we could go out, one of the first questions people often ask is, what do you do? Where do you work? And that becomes kind of the intro. And so it can be stressful if you're out and about and somebody says, where do you work? And you're looking for a job. Um, and whether we are doing well at our job or struggling, it can influence how we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves and the world around us too. Um, the One of the main things a job does is it gives us structure. It gives us a schedule to follow every day. It gives us a purpose and it gives us meaning. Whether it's a job that you have wanted all your life or it's a job that is kind of a stepping stone. Losing a job is more than just losing the job. There's a lot of our personal feelings and personal view that are impacted. Um, so I found this quote when I was looking, and the moment you realize that your job search is taking longer than you expected is the moment job search depression begins. Now, I'm not talking about clinical depression, but there are some similar signs that we see when people think, I should have a job in 3 months, 6 months, and that doesn't happen. We often start to question ourselves. What are we doing wrong? Why didn't that work? So there are some secondary stressors that go with losing a job. In 2002, the University of Michigan did a study, and they found that, what did they say? Secondary stressors of job loss, such as financial strain and loss of personal control, are some of the real culprits behind how we're feeling. And what the sad part of that is that oftentimes the more that we are feeling depressed, the harder it becomes to get a job. And I remember when I had lost a job and I was starting to get pretty desperate, and I accepted an interview, and it was a job I didn't want. I didn't want the job. I didn't like the job. And I went out there, and it was so apparent I didn't want the job and didn't like the job that I really felt like just saying in the middle of it, you know what, let's just call this off, because my answers were short. Eye contact was difficult. I remember it vividly, that occurring. So again, with a job loss, we have that financial strain and that loss of personal control. We can go forward a couple slides. That's the study I was just telling you about. So some of the signs, it's easy to say. I mean, I think we toss depression around, and some of the signs of job stress, depression, can be physical. You might be getting a headache more often. Stomach aches can be chronic. Just aches and pains. If you are arguing more or picking at things more, just the things that used to not bother you are starting to bother you a lot. That can be a sign. And you begin to question whether or not you are or ever have been good at your job, because the more depressed you get, the more depression talks to you and says that you're worthless. You're not getting this job because you don't know what you're doing. You're not getting this job because you don't interview well. And the more that happens, it becomes a really vicious cycle. So one thing I would suggest is that you check in with those around you, family or friends, and ask them if you seem more irritable or more, if you're crying, or just if they've noticed any changes in you. Some other signs are feeling sad or hopeless about ever finding a job, being tired all the time. And that can be tough because, looking for a job is takes a lot of energy. Doing interviews, getting ready takes lots of energy, and being depressed because of a job, lack of a job, really does create a feeling of exhaustion. And again, the energy is low. So, you go to fill out a application online and you just think, if I have to type this one more time, and some people, they don't, um, they elect not to at that moment. And I think right now with COVID, it's even more so. We hear about a lot of job freezes. We hear about people are hiring freezes. I was talking to my supervisor, and she was telling me that there were some jobs advertised at UK for a couple of HR positions. And because the word out there is that there's a hiring freeze, they're not getting the applications or the resumes that they used to. And where there in the past maybe would have been, at least 100 resumes coming in, one job had 12 resumes. So even if you hear, I think, that there is a freeze or a job pause, I would keep checking the websites, just to stay up with it. Anxiety, feeling anxious, jittery. And that jittery might not be like shaking on the outside, but just that internal kind of restlessness, like something, you need to be doing something. And after an interview, did that go well? You fill out an application, should I put this? Why didn't I say this? Did I use the right words? Always kind of thinking and critiquing what you're doing. And this mood and this outlet start impacting other areas of life. It might impact your relationship, your marriage, your relationship with your kids. Maybe you coach one of your kids' teams, and suddenly you're yelling at the kids all the time. So that's why I say you should talk to others around you to gauge your mood if you're not certain how you're feeling. And that's where I said that other people have noticed that you're not doing so well. So if somebody says something to you about that, I would, listen to it and take it seriously, and ask them for some examples. What are you seeing? And then, also think about, are these showing up when I'm doing interviews or filling out applications? Because if you're filling out, applications and things like that, and you're feeling sad, that might come out in some of your responses. So again, just to reiterate, the threat of losing our identity when we lose our job is really scary for a lot of people. And, when I was out of a job several years ago, I was my job. I mean, I was working probably 50, 60 hours a week. I was taking extra shifts. I felt like I had to do it all. And I started making mistakes. And I was anxious all the time. I was irritable. And when I lost the job, when I left, I I crashed. I just started crying because I thought, well, what do I do now? Who am I? What is this all about? And the big thing I started realizing was that the loss of structure, of getting up every day and getting ready and, getting ready to face my day. And I knew kind of how the day would go and what to expect and who I might see. Um, and without that, I felt lost. And I kind of felt that when we were told to go and work remotely because it messed up my schedule. It all of a sudden I was like, well, how does this work? I don't have to go into work and I don't live that far from campus. So it wasn't a big loss of time, but it changed things. So I would really encourage you to just like, you consider, I think and I hope they still say that, looking for a job is a full-time job. And if that's the case, set some strict office hours. This is the time I'm going to get up. This is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to work. This is lunch break. And stick to those. And I would really recommend too that you get dressed, you get ready for your day. I know when COVID started, I mean, I was getting dressed. I was wearing the shoes, I was in the pants, I was, making sure my top was good. And as it's gone on, like I'll be honest, I'm wearing sweats. I am. And I started feeling really weird a couple weeks ago. Well, it was probably about a month ago. And I realized that my office is set up in my living room and there was no cutoff. So I just decided to walk out to my car with my backpack because that's what I carry everything in, and then come in like I was just coming in from work, just so that I could feel that separation. So even for you, when you're looking for that job and the end of the day comes, make it a clean cut. Do something that says, okay, job search done for today. So that I'm now investing in my personal life and that's another part of who you are. And that has to be nurtured too. Create some simple rules. I don't check email after a certain time. You might want to say, I'm going to look at, I'm going to send this many resumes. I'm going to look for this many. I won't look at LinkedIn past this time, or I'm only going to read 2 articles, something like that. Things that you can stick to, so that you feel like you're getting and you are getting some of that control over your day back. Because the important thing here is that while you are searching for a job, and it can be all consuming, you need to take time to make sure that there's time where you don't think about the job search. Because when we think about being employed, for many of us, when the day is over, the day is over. Some people bring work home, some don't, but there's a cutoff period, and you are still you have some relationship to family, whether you're single or married or a parent or not, or an auntie or an uncle, a child, a daughter. These are all rules and things that you still have some control over. So you want to make that time to have some fun, to take care of yourself, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, so that life is just not this silo of job search. Um, and so one thing I did want to say is that when you set your schedule, you want to build in time for lunch breaks, for things that you would do while you were at work. And if you did not take a lunch break at work for one reason or another, start doing it, because it's really important for our mental health that we have a break during the day. Most of us can work steadily for about an hour and a half and then we need a break. And obviously, we don't get lunch every hour and a half, but you want your breaks where you can stretch and get ready. You want to do the same thing if you're searching for a job. So one thing that helps us kind of stay focused on what we are doing is to write out specific manageable goals. And I'm sure all of you have heard of SMART, simple, manageable, achievable. I'm losing R and T, but there, if somebody remembers, they can put it in the chat box. But if you can write out those goals, that will help you stay on track too, because you have a vision of what you want to do. And having that vision feels a lot more secure than just kind of a random, as my granny would say, willy-nilly day. You know, yes, yes, thank you, Amanda. Um, you know, because that time, if we don't have a schedule, can get away from us. And I'll tell you what happens then if time gets away from us, and maybe we didn't fill out as many resumes as we wanted, or we didn't write as many cover letters. Then you have this added pressure for a lot of people of beating yourself up. Why did I do that? Why didn't I fill this out? I just sat around. Why didn't I do this? So you don't want to have that extra pressure. If you have goals that are simple and manageable, I don't know how many of you like to. I love a list, and what I love about a list is I love the crossing off. I love that sound it makes. And sometimes I confess this to most people. If I do something and it's not on the list, I will put it on the list just so I can it out. It makes me feel good, and I'm up for feeling good. So you want to be able to write these out. What do you want to do? And one thing I would suggest is that some of those goals be just a little bit outside your comfort zone. Doing the same thing all the time will get you the same results. And sometimes there is some extra, while it's stressful, sometimes it's a good stress or a good anxiousness when we try something new. So I think it's a good idea to put some goals on in there that maybe you're going to have to work a little harder at and to achieve. And then the other thing is to celebrate those small victories. And boy, we are a people that are great about the yes, but. Oh yeah, I got the interview, the phone interview, but I didn't get the job. I didn't get called in for an in-person. And so you've just wiped out a whole accomplishment because, like I said, for some jobs at UK, they might get 150, resumes, and they call 10 of them or 15 of them. And if you get a call back, that's pretty good. You stood out there. So instead, you want to say yes, and I got a phone interview, and it felt really good. I didn't get the job, but it felt good to at least get to practice my interview skills. Excuse me. And it is important to make your goals manageable, because if you set your goals too high, you don't need another disappointment. You don't need more of that. So make sure that you can accomplish those goals that you set with some reasonable ability. So the other thing when you're looking for a job is to see everything as an opportunity. How can each opportunity make you a better worker or a better person? So if you went on an interview but you didn't get the job, well, the interview, maybe you got to meet new people, maybe you got to network some. Maybe it was a chance to wear that suit that you liked, or your favorite work outfit again. It gave you an opportunity to talk about your strengths, or you're learning to be a better listener. So if you can attach some positive opportunity or positive reason to every opportunity, that's going to help you feel better than just, well, I had an interview. I mean, that's not fun. And the other thing is to have a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. I at times when we've had a reduction in force at UK, I will see some of the people or my coworkers will, who have had that job loss. And they will get their heart set on one job, or even somebody that is employed and they want to switch jobs, they'll get their heart set on that one job and they won't apply for anything else. And, you want to have a lot of options. So as much as you can find those jobs that you're interested in, and be working them all. And like I said, try to see an opportunity in all these things that are going on. So then, the other thing that happens when we are out of work is there's a big feeling of loss of control. Uh, can we go to next slide? Um, when I mean, I don't know, for some of you, can you put what it feels like to be out of control in the chat box? Just for you, like, what do you notice when you feel out of control? What does your body do? What do you think about? I tend to get really hot. I start chaos. Oh my gosh, Krista, yes, because we're used to kind of having that schedule, tense, anxiety, mind racing, nothing makes sense. Whew, you guys are feeling it, aren't you? Trapped. That's a tough one, because I think we all feel like if I have some control, I can work this situation. I can make it work for me. And when we don't have control and we're at the mercy of others, that's a really difficult feeling to work with. So the idea here is that while there is a lot of things that you can't control about a job search, there are things that you can control both in the job search and in your personal life. And I want to keep emphasizing that while you're looking for a job, you still have to take care of you, the person. So that's why I say the personal life too, and you want to weigh in on that. So for those of you that are feeling out of control, have you found things that you do feel like you're in control of? Um, Besides bathroom breaks and cold or hot tea, or, what are some things that you feel like you do have control over these days? Yay. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Art. Oh, right. Yes. That those outlets that we enjoy, art, exercise, and some of these are more difficult with COVID. So there's another layer here that you all who are out of work are facing these days. I for so yes, so I'm big about I'm a visual person. So when I am learning something new, or trying to change something, watchful and very careful of management of finances. I will put a bracelet on to remind me I'm trying something else. And if I were to make a list of things I were control, those big sticky notes, I would get one of those and put it up so that when you're feeling out of control, you can say, wait a minute, wait a minute. There are some things I can control here. Because part of this is accepting that there are some things you can't control. And I will tell you that when you accept that, there's a grieving process of losing that control. The other thing is, and I love this, to create a brag list. I mean, if you're, I don't know, maybe you have an elder that loves you, or a sibling, or significant other. But if I need kind of a boost, I used to call my grandpa, because grandpa would just list them off. Oh, Annie B, this is why you're good. And this is, you do this really well. And he would just tick them off. And I would just sit back and be like, oh, yeah. But my grandpa's not around anymore, and I'm getting older, so I need to be able to generate that myself. So I just keep a brag list, and it's a dual purpose, because at the end of the year I have to do a performance evaluation and evaluate myself, and I've got my brag list, and I can look at it, but I also can look at it when I'm having a difficult day. And I also have what I call the kudos file, and I still use paper and pen. I know a lot of people say computer, but I just like to hold things. I'm a little old fashioned that way. So I'll whip that thing out, and I have in it thank you notes. I have in it, maybe it was a really good PE, or just things that people have told me, or upbeat. I'm not super big on those flowery day to day, reach for the stars type of things, but those are very helpful to a lot of people. But some of them resonate with me. So I have some of those in there. So it's a file I go to when I need an extra boost. And when we're searching for a job and we're not always getting those that we might get at our job. Some of us don't get a lot of kudos when we're at work, but I love when my boss says, "Oh, I was walking across campus and I saw such and such, and she said your presentation to the group was great." Or I saw this person and he said his 15-year-old came to see you and she's doing much better. And he thinks you did wonders with her. Those feel good and we need to hear them. But if we're not working, where do we get that? And that's why there also has to be the personal thing. Um, and if someone is not giving them to you, you're going to have to figure out a way to, brag on yourself. And we're taught not to brag about ourselves, but you got to sometimes. It's important. Um, and Amy Rodquist Cadell is a health and wellness coach at UK, and I love this. To help us recognize things that we're grateful for, because gratitude, there's a lot of research that talks about how gratitude can help us feel better, be more positive, things like that. So for some people, keeping a gratitude journal can be very helpful. At the end of the day, you write down, these are the good things that happen, something good that I saw someone else do. Today I had fun when, and you just list them out. Now, when I say journal, I don't mean you have to, get out your glitter and your gel pens. I'm not saying you have to write these beautiful flowing paragraphs. And I get stuck with that one because my mom was an English teacher, and oh gosh, she would be honest about how we wrote, and it has taken me a long time just to be able to do bullet points. But that's my therapy. So I digress. But Amy, I really like this, what she suggests to people, and it's through PERMA. And what and that's a psychologist developed this program for happiness, and he calls it three good things. And at the end of the day, before you go to bed, sit down and really think about your day. Really see how it went, what you did, things like that, and write down three good things that happened, whether they were big things or whether they were small things. Three good things that happened. But here's what I really like about this one is that think about why. Why were those special? Why were those good? How do you feel about those occurrences? Why do you feel good about it? So that gets, because the gratitude just feels like a list. This helps me be in touch with what some of my values are, what makes me happy. And then he says, if you go back in a week, look at what you've written. And do you notice any themes? How does it feel to see all that good packed into some pages? And maybe you notice that there's one person that keeps showing up that you really are enjoying. So let that person know. Reach out and let them know. These are some self-care things. The other thing to do is keep track of your worries. Now, this is a kind of a new concept for me, so bear with me. If you're thinking about all the things that you're worried about, all the things that are going on, the things that are stressing you out, it's suggested. The book Magic is good for practicing gratitude. Ooh, I'm going to have to write that one down. Hold on, peoples. Magic. So what this suggests is that you write down on a scale of 1 to 5 your worries. So jot all down all the worries, just put them all down, and then go back and say, with 5 being, it's a big one. It's the one that keeps me up at night. It's the one that I'm stress eating over, or is making me sleep too much. To one where, it's a stressor, but I can handle it. And then what you want to do is that you want the most worrisome causes at the top of this list. You want to take it and say, what can I do about it? So, is there a solution? Is there someone you can talk to? Is there an action you can take? Because a lot of times these worries, they just sit up there in our head. And I call the worries that are in my head, I call them the mofos. And I do. I don't go for the full curse word here, although it's a nice word sometimes. I call it the mofos. And I envision them all sitting at the table. And they're like, how can we get Annie today? Let's, the critic pops up and, fear jumps in. And, sometimes encouragement says, back off. But if I can imagine those, I write them down. Then you can take this list and then you can say, okay, this is a big worry, but here's some things I can do. So when you take them out of your head and they're not just dancing up there by themselves, but you can visually see it, it's going to help you take the steps you need to take. Or remember that, okay, this is a big worry and here's how I want to handle it. Is there anything I can do about it right now? And if there's not, distract yourself, meditation, call somebody, things like that. Excuse me. Okay, the next slide, please. So here's some just additional thoughts about self-care and taking care of yourself. And somebody said it earlier, and that is to stay active. And when I was out of work, one of the things I knew, if I would get up in the morning and exercise, my day would go better. And I joined the Rock, which was a free place. And it was a real little thing. It had an indoor walking path, I guess is what you call it. And it had some machines, but it was really small. And I got up every morning and I saw the same people usually in the morning. And I did it. And so my day started off with a lot of energy. I had to take a shower because I tend to sweat when I work out. And I remember that's where I was when I learned about 9/11. When the planes crashed in the building, I was at the Rock working out. I also remember, some one time where, if you let go, there's a reason there's handles on the treadmill. And if you let go, the possibility of falling, sliding back, and that thing just going on your chin is possible. Just a little helpful tip from Anne. But stay active. And that doesn't have to mean that you go and you work out in a gym. You can take a walk. You can take the dogs for a walk. Or the cats. Some people walk their cats these days. You can get out and play with your kids, or just toss a frisbee. It doesn't have to be this typical exercise. Just that you are staying active, and because there's a lot of research that says physical activity reduces our anxiety and our depression. So when you do that, you feel better. This is a tough one, making plans with friends and family right now. With the holidays coming up, I have had a lot of clients who are really struggling. We think of the holidays as times with our family. And when you're out of work or looking for work, we want some of that normalcy, some of that routine, and that's been more difficult. But do you have a pod of friends that you guys are staying safe with? Or I know it's just one more Zoom meeting, but maybe you schedule a Zoom, or maybe you go, if you toss a frisbee, you got to be 6 feet apart, because a frisbee any closer, well, it could take your head off if you're not careful. And if you have older relatives, somebody just put in the chat box, send cards to people, call them up. I mean, it's been interesting to me how many more cards and just letters I've been getting, and I've been sending out, just because I'm so tired about Zoom at the end of the day that there's got to be a different way. And it's been kind of neat doing that. Have some home projects and some personal projects. Maybe there's things you need to do around the house. And this is what I talk about when I say have a schedule. So you're looking for a job, but work put in there somewhere where you can get this little project done. And it doesn't have to mean you get the whole project done, but you can go for small pieces of a project, because again, small manageable goals, things that are easily attainable, make sure you have all the stuff, and then, identify a project. And again, because sometimes we feel like we don't have control, and you want to have some control. If there's a project, write down what you need. Do you have it? Where do you need to go to get it? Things like that. And here's my big one, and I get on a soapbox on this one, but volunteering does more for us as individuals, um, that than anything else, I think. I think you hear it all the time that when we volunteer, we get out of it as much as the people that we are supporting or helping or teaching or whatever. And surprisingly, there are a lot of opportunities for volunteering still today. If you go to United Way, they have a volunteer thing where you can sign up and they'll send you little flashes when there's something that matches what you're looking for. If you just type in volunteering in your city, and I usually do Lexington, there's another site too, and I can't think of the name right now, but that volunteering, it's magical. I just think it gets us out of ourselves. It focuses our attention on other people, other things, other needs, and it's a great way to feel better. And again, schedule it in. It doesn't have to be something that you do every day. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's every other week, but try to find something that you would feel comfortable doing. Not everybody wants to interact with the public, but there's a lot of agencies that maybe need somebody to file things, or to walk a dog or something like that. Check on your elders, or your elder neighbors, people around you. Do they need help? And the big thing is just to go out and ask. The worst somebody can say is, no, I'm good. I got everything taken care of. And you can just say, well, let me know if you need some help. But overall, if you are experiencing some of those, yes, taking dogs for long walks is good for you and for them. And that's the truth. Um, you know, at work, my office used to overlook the dog park where the college students who were training the dogs to be assisted living dogs, their playground was right underneath my window. And I don't know that I have felt as happy in a long time as watching those dogs play. So even if you don't have a dog, go to the dog park and hang out, and see, just find things that you enjoy watching. But if you feel like your depression is getting to be too much, there are some free or reduced cost counseling in different parts of Kentucky. You can look into those. If you feel like medication might be necessary, talk to your doctor. Um, you know, again, a job search is essential, and we want to be working, but you don't want it to make you feel so bad about yourself that you become irritable. You are sleeping a lot. You're avoiding people, and things like that. So definitely talk to a professional or your doctor if you need to. So any questions or comments? I'll even take snarky remarks if you guys want about all this information. If you do, sorry, I have a new cat and he's quite active. I thought he was going to make an appearance here, but he's not. All right. Any questions or comments about this information or things that you're struggling with? Hmm.
And one of the strategies that I've read about in multiple resources is to write a letter to somebody that meant a lot to you in your life. And that's also a form of gratitude, but just that
Yes.
writing a letter, a thank you letter, could have been your first boss or a professor, but somebody in your career, reach out to them, especially during the holidays, send them a card and just let them know specifically a few things that they did that greatly impacted your career or your life. And that will do wonders to helping your spirits as well.
I think that's a great idea. And maybe 5 years ago, I wrote a letter to my 11th and 12th grade English teacher, and her name was Marilyn Borelli. And she had curly red hair and honestly believed she was a cat in Egypt in her past life. And her whole appearance indicated cat. But I tell you, she taught me to write. Between her and my mom, paper saved me through college and high school, saved me because I knew how to write. And so I wrote her and just thanked her for all her effort at teaching me. And I got the best letter back, and she absolutely loved it. So I love that idea, Carolyn. That's a great idea. Um, any other questions in here? Oh yeah, Amanda is putting up some of the sites I use to get the information. There's some great things out there right now. Oh, and I see my friend Peg. Peg's here. Last time I was here, I was telling people to do the Wonder Woman stance, and Peg, she got a job at Boone Center, and every time we saw each other, we just jumped for joy and did the Wonder Woman stance. It's since been disproved that using the Wonder Woman stance before an interview doesn't exactly give you the motivation, but I kind of think it does. So if I believe it, I'll do it. How do you avoid false job posts? Ooh, I don't know on that one. Do job club people, do you all know how to do that?
I can tag in on that one for you, Anne.
Thanks.
Pam, for that one, I would recommend doing research on the organization before you apply. And I'm thinking glassdoor.com might be a good place that you can do some research on organization. It's a website where people can go and write comments about an organization. Keeping in mind, most people will write negative things over positive things. But if you see a lot of themes or a lot of spam related language on there, that's a good one. Any other questions for Anne? I'm watching the chat to pass them for you, Anne.
Thank you. Amanda is efficient and sweet, in case you
Thank you.
don't know that.
All right, Anne, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. We're so very grateful for your time.
Well,
At
thank you. I
this point,
appreciate being here.
I'd love for us to fill that chat box with some gratitude as we're moving forward in our program to talk about employer job leads next. Any questions or feedback, we'll invite Anne back up after the regular program to chat more. All right, and then here's the information, the sources that I copied and pasted into the chat. Definitely copy and paste some of those resources into a Word document so you can go back and read these articles. I scanned through them yesterday. These are really good, really great resources. All right, Ellie, I think we're ready for the next slide with the who's hiring. All right. Attendees can share job leads at this point via the chat box. If there are any employers in the audience, please use the raise hand function and I will give you audio privileges. You can have a 1-minute spotlight to share active job leads if you like. And for any other employers, or if you know about job leads, email them to us at ukalumnicareer@uky.edu by noon today, and we'll get them included in our post-meeting job lead list. For those that are new or first comers to the group, in the afternoon after job club, we will compile all the job leads that we've been emailed since our last job club session. If you want the access to those quicker, joining the LinkedIn group is a good idea, and I just approved a ton of requests. Our LinkedIn group, it has over 100 members now, so that's exciting to see that grow as well. I'm not seeing any hands up for employers, so we'll shift on over to the good news. Diana Doggett is out of the office today, so I'm going to do her update briefly here. Quick updates from our partners. The UK Cooperative Extension, Fayette County Cooperative Extension is an incredible job club partner, and Suzanne Smith on the line is doing our Facebook Live right now. Incredibly grateful to her and the team. Know that you can check out their Facebook page and they have all kinds of great programming that's happening, and I'm going to copy and paste that into the chat. Lots of their programming has moved over to Zoom, and their quality has not went down one bit. I am so grateful for the fun programs that they offer. It's a really diverse set of programs. All right, I'm going to invite Caroline up to do the update from Alumni Career Services.
Great. I also wanted to just tag in on a few job search tips and strategies. Even though it's COVID, just like any December, continue to job search. Don't take a break. Do continue to job search because companies are hiring. I've been amazed in going back over my client records from the last year and reaching out to everyone as it's coming to a year end. And there's quite a bit of year end activity. So please, any loose ends that you have, follow up. Some companies are really trying to get this done in the next couple of weeks so they can onboard people at the beginning of January. So, last push here. Also, phraseology. We like to encourage people to say, rather than I'm out of work or unemployed, use the positive phraseology if you happen to be asked, I'm between opportunities or I'm exploring opportunities for what I want to do next. That's a much more positive approach to framing what's going on right now. Holiday networking. We wanted to create a virtual holiday networking opportunity. This is free, open to Job Club attendees and the community. It's Wednesday the 16th at noon. Please register for that. You can do that on our UK Alumni Association website. Information is on the screen. It will be also in our newsletter that goes out. We are super excited about a brand new career management webinar series that begins in January. It'll be the third Wednesday of each month. Fabulous speakers and topics. Those registration links are live, so go ahead and reserve a spot. Alumni Career Services, as a reminder, are a benefit of membership in the UK Alumni Association. Amanda and I are both nationally certified career counselors. Anyone can join the UK Alumni Association. You do not have to be a graduate of UK or have attended UK, and it's a benefit of membership to get 2 sessions a year with me or Amanda. So if you're feeling like you need to take it to the next level or need a little more one-on-one time, do consider joining and investing in your job search for some one-on-one assistance. Next. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Nicole now.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? All right, let's see here. Can you hear me? I can't see myself, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you perfectly. You're good.
Thank you. I always wanted to make sure there. Okay, so I do have a few job leads to mention. See here within steps, within HR employment, steps temporary employment, we have more than a few, and I'll share these so that we can get them up before noon today. Well, sorry, I'll share these before noon today so we can get these up and sent out to you guys just in case I go a little too fast. But we have 6 materials management techs that are needed. It's kind of like warehouse positions. Medical assistants, we are still looking for medical assistants, medical records clerks. So as mentioned over and over again today during this presentation, we are still looking for employees, candidates, applicants. It's still out here, you guys. So medical records clerks, we actually are looking for about 8 administrative staff support assistants, patient relations services and assistants, spotters, and spotters are spotters. That is a general, like, new term, I should say, in healthcare right now for COVID. And these are just employees who are kind of going around and watching to make sure that PPE is being wear properly. Things like that, just kind of helping with that. And let's see here, what else we have. Steps for dentistry. You could also look at these positions, as I've mentioned, through our UK Jobs website and just click on temporary employment. But in dentistry, there are some steps and positions available. I think there's about, as of a couple of days ago, there were about 10. So it could be a little less than that now, but we do have some of those available in dentistry. And let's see here on the campus side of things, what I just mentioned is healthcare. On the campus side of things, it looks like we need some maintenance techs, custodial workers, and those screener spotters. We're going to overlap and kind of help each other in healthcare and campus with those. So, yeah, there's a several positions out here, and as I mentioned, I don't think I could get them all typed fast enough as they were coming into me. So I will definitely share those with you guys and encourage you to apply. Once again, I'm going to say it before I leave you. There are jobs out there, as Ann said. So just keep searching, keep looking. There's definitely something out there for you.
Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate you.
Welcome.
All right, closing out. We're building out registration for next semester for Job Club, so that's coming soon. But next time at Job Club, save the date on your calendar, January the 12th. Beat the bots, getting your resume past the applicant tracking system, ATS. You've heard us talk about that before if you're a regular. And we're excited to welcome back Shelly Trent with your career collaborator. She was on the schedule for fall and incredibly popular, great speaker. Registration will be coming up soon at ukalumni.net/job club. There's a great question in the chat. What time will this be? Job Club always meets on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. So save it on your calendar, January the 12th, 9 a.m. until about 10 or 10:15 for that. So on behalf of the UK Alumni Association, the Fayette County Cooperative Extension, and UK HR Steps Temporary Employment, thank you so much for joining Job Club today. We're grateful to have you and have a wonderful holiday. Again, we're not meeting for the fourth Tuesday of December. Next session is on January 12th. Have a great holiday. Bye-bye.